Hello aspirants, welcome to SRIRAM's IAS channel. So friends, in today's discussion, let us try to understand about one of the important topic that is in news for us, that is Manki Munda system. So friends, this particular topic is very much important from various papers point of view and from prelims point of view also. So let us try to dwell more into this topic and let's try to understand about Manki and Munda system in a systematic manner. So first, let's try to understand what is Manki and Munda system. So very important thing that we have to understand is that Manki and Munda system, it's nothing but it's a local self-governance system that is generally being followed in the Ho tribes of Jharkhand. So not only Hos, Munda, so all of them will follow such kind of traditional self-governance system. So in very simple fashion to just explain, so imagine a situation where the local village disputes would be resolved under a sacred tree, and try to imagine a situation where usually the community heads will be elected by the process of respect and tradition and not by the process of elections. And imagine such a situation where the local dispute resolution system is being done at the village level as well as the cluster level. So such a kind of self-governance system which has roots before the constitution developed. So that system is known as Manki and Munda system. So let's try to understand about this particular system in detail and in more in depth. So first of all, if we generally talk from the perspective of this particular system, so the Manki and Munda system. So you can just focus on two important words. One is Manki and second one is Munda. So usually what happens in Ho tribes means, so the one which heads the village, that means the village head of that particular area will be known generally as Munda. And there would be cluster of villages which is known as Pid. So roughly around 8 to 15 villages will be called as a cluster of villages, or it is known as a Pid. So usually Manki is the person who heads this particular cluster. So Manki is nothing but the head of a cluster, whereas Munda is nothing but the head of the village. So what they generally do, so usually Mankis and Mundas. So at the village level, Munda will try to help in the resolution of the disputes, as well as if certain issues are not resolved at the village level, so then that disputes will be sent to the cluster level. So at the cluster level, the disputes, unresolved disputes at the village level will be handled by the Manki, and he will try to clear off such kind of issues. So in very simple fashion to say, so not only such kind of conflict resolution, they also has had some sort of traditional role in administration, some sort of judicial powers and all those things were there traditionally. But over the course of time, so the powers has got slightly changed. So now simply remember that Manki and Munda system is a type of local self-governance system followed by the Ho tribes for our purpose as of now. And apart from this, it is one of the local dispute resolution system that they follow. So this is one important thing that you can remember. Now let's try to understand much about this, and for us why this particular Manki and Munda system is in use. So if you look into that particular aspect, so recently the members of the Ho tribe in the West Singhbhum region of Jharkhand, they have staged protests against the deputy commissioner of that particular district. So why they have staged protests? So simply they have accused that the district administration is meddling with the traditional Manki and Munda system, and they are trying to just remove, or they are trying to reduce the powers of the Manki and Munda system. That is the basic accusations, and that is the basic perception why or what led for going for this kind of protests. So you can see these like there are group of people belonging to this Ho tribes, they are just protesting. So this is one thing. So now let us try to understand much about this particular issue. So when we see in much depth. So insights into this particular issue, if you see, so what was the basic reason for such kind of protests, or why the protests have been conducted? So in recent unrest, if you see, so in the West Singhbhum region, so it stems from some complaints which have been lodged by the different communities, like let's say for example scheduled castes and other backward castes which are living in this particular region. They have just simply submitted some sort of complaints in with the district administration. So what they have done there, so the major issue of the scheduled castes and other backward classes was that, so there was prolonged absence of the village heads. So due to this prolonged absence of the village heads, that is Mundas in that particular region, so it was hindering the district administration with respect to particularly issual of certain certificates like that. So that was an issue. So with this issue they have complained to the district administration. So in reaction to such a kind of complaint, so what district administration has done, so it has given some sort of response. So what was the response? So the response was that the district administration issued a 9-point directive to the Mundas. So what they have done, so they have reminded the Mundas about their duties. So particularly like you Mundas, like you have to perform such a kind of duties. This is your responsibility, like that. So there was a hukuknama under Wilkins 1837 rules. So under Wilkins 1837 hukuknama guidelines, so they have been reminded about their duties. So that was the response that has been given by the district administration. Now, what has been perceived by them? So when they have served the notice, or when they have served this directive, so the Mundas, they felt that they are going to meddle with the Manki and Munda system. So that's what they have perceived, and they staged protests. But what the clarification that the district administration has given? So now look at this here. So clarification is that the district administration clarified that Manki and Munda system will remain integral to the administration system, whereas the system continues and we are not going to scrape this particular system. So that was the basic clarification and explanation given by the district administration. So this is the basic insights of the issue, or what is the reason, what is the issue, and what was the response of district administration, and what is the final clarification given by the district administration. Now, after understanding all of this, so let us try to understand what are Wilkins rules and are they still relevant to the horse in this particular context. See, in the year 1831, so the British appointed Captain Thomas Wilkinson. Captain Thomas Wilkinson was one of the administrators, and he has been appointed as a political agent in this particular region, that is the Kolhan government estate. So this was one thing that has been done. So what was the major role of Captain Wilkins? So as a political agent, he has to manage the whole dominated region. So that was the task given to Wilkins. Now, what has been done? So as and when he reached that particular region, so he observed and he recognized that the Manki and Munda system is such a strong that it is a good local self-governance that is prevailed in that particular area since a lot of period. So by looking at the strength of that particular system, so to just codify the system, so Captain Thomas Wilkinson, he has formulated or drafted a set of 31 rules. So that set of 31 rules drafted by Captain Thomas Wilkinson became to be known as Wilkins rules. So with this process, a formal codification of this particular system came into existence. So that codified rules are nothing but Wilkins rules. So that is one thing that you have to remember. I hope you are clear with this. Now, what has happened if you look from the perspective of the independence point of view? So after independence, so once we got independence in 1947, the Kolhan government estate got dissolved. So after dissolution of the Kolhan government estate, the Wilkinson rules remain in force. Okay, this is one another important thing that you have to remember. And that too with the Kolhan exempted from India's General Civil Procedure Code. So that is one another important thing. And now, what is the current relevance? Are they still relevant? So this is one important question that we have to remember. So in 2021, actually what has happened means, so the Jharkhand government has initiated one type of initiative that is known as Nyay Manch. So which was intended to bring some sort of reforms in the Manki and Munda system. But nevertheless, this Nyay Manch could not able to come into action, or it could not able to be implemented. So therefore, till now, or still what we can say is that Wilkins rules are operational because this Nyay Manch could not able to become functional. So that is one thing. So here what you have to remember is that, so what is Manki and Munda system? In very simple fashion to say, at village level, Munda will be the person who will help in dispute resolution, and at the cluster level, Manki is the person who leads the dispute resolution. So this is one thing that you have to remember. It is a self-governance system, local self-governance system. So that is one clarification. So now, after understanding about this particular system, let us try to understand more about the tribes. So we were discussing about the Ho tribes. So Ho tribes of Kolhan region of Jharkhand region. So Ho's, so we have to, from prelims point of view, we have to understand what is the basic distribution and what is the culture of them and all those things like that. So this is nothing but the traditional look of the Ho tribes. So they were agricultural tribes. So can you see a person carrying some instrument? So agricultural tribes, and in modern times, so this is how they are looking. This is the traditional, this is the modern Ho dress code. So you can have it. Now let us try to learn more about the Ho tribes, which can be helpful for you from prelims point of view. So now just have a view. So what is the basic distribution where we can see the Ho tribes? So Ho tribes basically belongs to an Austro-Asiatic Munda ethnic group. So when we try to classify the tribes, so there are different ethnic groups. Amongst that, Austro-Asiatic group is one thing, and amongst that, Munda ethnic group is one another subdivision. So usually Hos belongs to this particular group. And other important thing is that usually they'll be distributed or concentrated mainly in the Jharkhand's Kolhan region, and not only in the Jharkhand's Kolhan region, and also we can see in some parts of Odisha, and apart from Odisha, we can also see them in some other parts of central India, like it could be West Bengal, Bihar, etc. And not only here, so we can also see them in Bangladesh and Nepal. So this is one basic distributional aspect. So then, if you look into the language aspect, usually Hos will speak Ho language. Ho language is one language which belongs to, again, the Austro-Asiatic group of languages, and the sub-language is, that is, Mundari group of languages. And this Mundari group of languages, or this Ho language, is generally written in different scripts. So one is, it is written in Devanagari script, it is also written in Latin, and it is also written in Wurrung-City. So Wurrung-City is a kind of native script which was being developed by Lakobodra. So Lakobodra is one of the famous person from the community. So that is Lakobodra. And then city and society and culture. So what is the nature of society, and what are the important aspects related to their culture? So that is one another important thing. So now when you look at the society, there is a strong self-governance system in the form of Manki and Munda system. So this is one thing that we have already learned. And next important thing is that what kind of festivals they follow. So usually they follow festival traditions like Mage Parab, which means the creator god festival. And then you can also have other types of festivals like Ba Parab, which means the festival of flowers, and the Shohrai. Shohrai means the agricultural festival, and like a Jom Nama Parab, that is harvest festival. So these are nothing but different festivals that they follow in their culture. So that is one thing. And then if we happen to look at the economy and forests, so when we look that aspect, so usually Ho tribes economy is predominantly engaged, or like people will be predominantly engaged in agriculture. That means if we can see in depth, around 80% of the Ho tribes will be engaged in agricultural and allied activities. So that is one thing. And then apart from this, if you see, there is a strong dependence on the salt forest. So this is one another thing that is central to the tribal life of Hos. So in fact, when there was a debate of replacing of the salt trees with the teak trees, so the Hos have strongly resisted in not to replace salt trees by the teak trees, because salt trees are very much central to their culture. So that is one another important aspect that we have to remember. So friends, that's all with respect to this particular topic, that is Manki and Munda system, which is currently in use. So just have a question and try to just solve this question from prelims perspective. So look at the question. The Manki and Munda system recently seen in news due to protests by the Ho tribals refers to. So look at the first option. A Manki heads a village and Munda supervises many villages. Is this the right option? Or option B, a Munda heads a village and Manki supervises a group of villages. Is this the right option? Or then option C says that both Manki and Munda are elected leaders under the PESA Act. Is it so? Or fourth one is Mankis were revenue officers introduced by the Portuguese. Is this true? So what's your answer? So try to just select right answer and type your answers in the comments box so that we can check to what extent you have followed the video. So practice this question, and the questions are very much important to clear the pre, right? Practice makes man's perfect. So that's what we are going to have it. So friends, that's all for today. So let's meet in another video with another important topic. So till then, take care. Thank you all.